wars, and natural disasters. Beyond physical damage, their lingering psychological effects can be devastating.
Experiences that caused you the trauma are often being replayed. You're seeing your father and your mother murdered. You're seeing it when you are asleep at night, you're having nightmares, you're seeing it during the day. Images will come back to you. The experience is so overwhelming, you're kind of disengaged from life.
It's called post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, and it leaves its victims suffering in silence and isolation. Men and women, old and young, crippled by injuries no one can see.
Israelis have left. How have things changed?
Dr. Jim Gordon saw these problems firsthand in Israel, Iraq, Kosovo, and right here in the United States. He knew he had to do something to help. So in 1991, he founded the Center for Mind-Body Medicine.
What I'm hoping to create is an organization that will respond, as Doctors Without Borders does to the physical, that will respond to the psychological and the emotional needs of whole countries.
The idea is simple: train affected communities to heal themselves.
It means working with psychiatrists, psychologists, chaplains, social workers, nurses. But the basic idea is to give you the tools that you need.
Over several days, these caregivers participate in comprehensive workshops, learning the center's techniques and creating a permanent network of mental health professionals. They continue to consult with the faculty of the Center for Mind-Body Medicine long after the seminar concludes.
We're coming there to share our work with them so they in turn can share it with the community of which they're a part. So that after 3 or 4 or 5 years, we leave with hundreds of people trained, with this work available to virtually everyone in an entire country. Centers all the community.
A Harvard-trained physician, professor at Georgetown Medical School, researcher at the National Institute of Mental Health, and advisor to President Clinton. Dr. Gordon had the credentials, the experience, and the commitment to make a difference.
So I'd loved doing my private practice. I was writing articles, but I really wanted to do something that would have more of an effect. How can I reach large numbers of people to help them, and especially help them help themselves, and create this new model?
In war-torn Kosovo, a significant percentage of the population was suffering from PTSD symptoms. The center trained 600 mental health care professionals, and through those professionals, the work is spreading, healing is taking place, and hope is returning. In a published study, the center demonstrated that PTSD symptoms in Kosovar teens dropped from 88% to 38% in just 6 weeks. To Dr. Gordon, the results are not surprising. The techniques he teaches are based on sound science.
And we are documenting the efficacy of these techniques. They do reduce stress, they do improve mood, they do decrease anxiety, they do give both kids and adults more of a sense of control and more hope for the future.
The techniques are simple yet effective.
So we teach relaxation techniques with deep breathing. We teach techniques where you use guided imagery, techniques of drawing and written techniques and movement techniques, so that kids or adults can express what's very difficult to express, particularly after you're traumatized.
Now, in the Middle East, Gulf Coast, and with the U.S. military, the work continues.
Our work in Israel is now spreading to every sector of Israeli society. People, many of whom would never have anything to do with one another in ordinary life.
It's something very new to a lot of people, so I'm planning to start a group right now with ultra-Orthodox women at my clinic.
In Gaza, our initial training was 90 people. We now have every week 40 mind-body skills groups are happening throughout Gaza.
فركزت على تمرين الاسترخاء اللي أنا كنت دائما بستفيد منه، فمن يومها لليوم ما راحت مشاكل دقات القلب هذه.
In New Orleans, Dr. Gordon raised seed money to train a corps of healthcare providers to help a desperate Gulf Coast community.
New Orleans is like a country after a war, and in some ways it's even worse off because there's such a sense of betrayal and such a sense of desperation.
I lived in rural Tanzania, and I've never seen anything like this. It's harder for me to live here than it was to live there.
The devastation was overwhelming, and for those who lived through it, the pain and the suffering was intense.
To be truly American, to truly care about all the people of our country, we need to come to the aid, to really help these people to regain their faith and regain their hope.
For soldiers returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, a core group of medical personnel has been trained to help the tens of thousands of soldiers coming home with PTSD. But more resources are desperately needed.
We've hit a lot of limits with allopathic medicine. Being a Western-trained physician myself, I know there are limits that we can't get to in helping individuals. We're needing other approaches. So there's a sense of desperation.
Our warriors are coming back, and we need to take care of them both physically and mentally. It's a healing of the soldier, his family, and our community, which expands across the United States.
I know of no one on earth, really, no one on earth, who does such important intervention. What he does is actually heal people to heal themselves. So it's an investment that the return is absolutely enormous.
What he's doing with these trauma survivors is really, I think, the zenith of his life's work, because it's really bringing together all the things that he's done in the past, the conventional, the alternative, in the most credible ways, in ways that are making a difference not only in the lives of the people he's working with directly, but because they're health professionals, it leverages all that to all the patients of these people, as well as to transforming the system itself.
People who invest with us need to have some imagination, compassion, vision. What we're doing is creating the opportunity for whole societies to heal themselves.
Right now, the center needs both grassroots and major donors to step up and help those on the front lines of mental health care. If any of these programs resonate with you, please express your generosity by providing urgently needed donations.